Hey, welcome back to the channel. In one of my previous videos, I had a lot of people on social media telling me my shop cabinets were built wrong. And they were right. When I built them, I made the mistake of not sandwiching the top and bottom panels between the sides. And I didn't realize it until after I had them all built. Rather than start over, I decided to just use them the way they were. In addition to this, there were concerns over how much weight they would actually hold, and that failure would be inevitable. Even though I wasn't too concerned with this, I got to thinking, does it even matter how a cabinet is built? Will an improperly built one fail? And how much weight do they actually hold? Today we are going to find out by building one the exact same way I built them for my shop, and then loading it up with weight and forcing it to failure. This is going to be a lot of fun. To keep things consistent, I'm going to build a small section of 2x4 wall that we can mount the box to. I decided to use sand for the bulk of our weight, so I'm going to build the box to accommodate the bags of sand. This box will be built using 3/4 inch radiata pine plywood from Home Depot with a 1/4 inch back. The top and bottom panels are attached using a butt joint with glue and 2-inch long construction screws. Each panel joint will have 3 screws. Once I got the back slid in and the bottom secured, I pin nailed the back in place. Just like my shop cabinets, I install a French cleat at the top using 5 2.5 inch long screws. 3 in the top panel and 1 in each of the sides. And I didn't use any glue on the cleat. I also put a 3/4 inch spacer at the bottom to keep it plumb while it's hanging on the wall. With that out of the way, I can build a small wall section using 2x4s. I use 2x4 instead of 2x6 because this is how all of the walls in my shop are built. The studs were placed at 16 inches on center and everything was assembled using 3-inch long screws since I didn't have any framing nails. To keep the wall square, I picked up a piece of 1/8 inch thick white paneling. The wall cleat was attached using 2 2.5 inch long screws into each stud. And then I could stand it up and set the box in place. I ended up waiting till the next day to do all of this to make sure the glue on the box joint had dried. I was going to secure this to the wall, but because of the slope soffits on my house, I could just tuck it up behind the slope of the roof and let the weight of everything hold it into place. And now for the fun part, seeing how much weight it will hold and breaking it. I ended up only buying 4 bags of sand, so I'm going to have to grab some other things from around the house for some extra weight. On my shop cabinets, the weight is being distributed throughout the entire box due to the shelves. So this will be great to see how a so-called improperly built cabinet joint will hold up, since almost all of the weight will be concentrated on the bottom panel. I started loading it up with sand. These are 50-pound bags and they were wet, so they probably weigh a little bit more. After I put 200 pounds in there, I grabbed a set of 15-pound dumbbells, which brought our total up to 230 pounds. I didn't have anything compact enough of a known weight, so I ended up using 5-gallon buckets of water. Water weighs 8.3 pounds for each gallon. I didn't fill the buckets all the way full, so conservatively we have about 35 pounds in each bucket. I put a board on top of the cabinet to hold 2 of these, and I also hung a bucket off the bottom shelf. So for the whole box, we have 335 pounds being supported, with 265 pounds of that just on the bottom shelf. I was very pleased with this so far because I am never going to have this much weight in a single cabinet. Up to this point, everything seemed to be holding perfectly fine. Now it was time to see what it would take to make it fail. I grabbed a 2.5-pound hammer and started pounding. I really thought after a few light blows it would possibly break free, but it didn't, so I started hitting it a bit harder. There was a part of me that didn't want to break this, but that was the point, so I really started laying into it. After several hard blows and all of the weight in there, I was able to get one of the bottom joints to separate. But not fail as one would think it would. It is still supporting all of the weight. I then focused my attention on the other joint. As you can see, I ended up destroying the plywood before the bottom panel finally broke free. Because the top joint was reinforced by the pressure of the sides against the wall panel, I believe it would have taken even more to get that to fail if I had started there. And as far as the wall cleat is concerned, I am convinced that could have taken at least 1,000 pounds of weight, if not more. Maybe at some point in the future, we will try that out. With all of this being said, does it even matter how you build a cabinet box? In my opinion, I don't think so. An argument could be made that over a period of time and the constant loading and unloading of the box, that the joints will fail quicker. And that certainly could be the case. It makes sense to me. But I don't think that will ever be an issue on my cabinets. I think the most weight I have in one of them is about 100 pounds, if that. And when I take things in and out of them, I'm not unloading the whole 100 pounds at once. I'm also not just throwing stuff in there, which the hammer blows would demonstrate doing. Only time will tell. But if I ever have one fail before I leave this earth, I will certainly let you know. And if you make a mistake like I did when you build yours, don't worry about it. I really don't think it matters. Please leave a comment below on your thoughts and if you like the video. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you soon.